Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the Rain on Me indicator.
But before we do, if you have not watched my first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that right now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team, and as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down in the description below. You can also find a link to our Discord server, so that way we can all discuss testing indicators and building our trading system. And lastly, you can find a link below to TradingView. If you sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money using the link below.
Alright, as I said, today we will be testing the Rain on Me indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 98 indicators, and out of those 98 indicators, 35 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now, you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 35 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, as I said, today's indicator is the Rain on Me indicator. This is a TradingView member created indicator, and so of course there will be a link to it below in the description for you to check out. There are a few different versions that the user has created. This particular one just happens to be the Rain on Me Pro version number 1. There are 2 other versions, and this one seemed to be the easiest to understand without too much craziness happening. Now, I try to keep in mind that most of us out there, we're not, there's a lot of you out there that may not be extremely experienced in trading. And so we do have to keep in mind that when we are dealing with indicators that are highly complex with lots of things happening, it can be hard for even the seasoned trader to understand exactly what is happening and how we should be trading it. And so I feel like one of the criteria that needs to be met for creating a trading system is the simplicity in being able to read it. If it is too complex for your average person, your average new trader to read, then it doesn't do much good. If you have to spend 2-3 years of your life learning many different aspects of trading to be able to utilize the indicator, once again, I feel like that isn't a very useful indicator. We need something that is going to be very clear and very easy to understand for all of you traders out there, regardless of whether this is your first day learning about trading in Forex, or whether it is your 10th year trading and learning about Forex. And so with that being said, again, this one was the simplest one that I saw out of all of them, when it came to understanding how to trade it. The other ones were rather more complex and honestly seemed like they might have been worse off because of it. And so again, I chose this one because it is the easiest and clearest to understand without really having to assert my own bias or my own opinion on whether or not I should be taking a trade when a signal was given or not. And so the setup's pretty easy here. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes of this indicator. But basically, we have marks here. It says ATR. When it says green ATR, that would be a potential signal to go long. When it says red ATR, that is a potential signal to go short. Now, this one is a two-step process. And so we need to be mindful of the overall trend analysis of the indicator itself. And so we have this blue line here and an orange line. And the blue line is the faster of the two. And so it is gauging its position around the orange line here, is gauging the overall trend of the pair at this particular time. And so when the blue line is above the orange line, that is a uptrend. When the blue line is below the orange line, that is a downtrend. And so that criteria also needs to come into account when we are trading these signals, the ATR signals. And so basically what's going to happen is when we get an ATR signal, we are going to then reference to see where the blue line is. If it's a green ATR and the blue line is above the orange, that is a signal to go long. We've had two signals that have confirmed each other, and that would be a valid signal. If we got a green ATR and the blue line was below the orange, that is an invalid signal because one indicator is telling us we're in a downtrend, the other one is telling us we should be going long in an uptrend. Makes sense? And same way in reverse. When we get a red ATR, the blue line needs to be below the orange line, or in this case, like this one right here, crossing. That would be a valid entry. I'll give it that one. And so if we get a red ATR and the blue line is above the orange line, then that is an invalid signal and we will not take the trade. And so, yeah, with all that being said, that is how we are going to test it now. So let's get on with the testing process, see what we can get out of this indicator here. All right, so we have our first signal here. This is an ATR signal. The blue line is below the orange line, so it is not a valid signal at that point. So we will ignore it and we will move on here. Same thing with this one. We got a red ATR. The blue line was above the orange line. Not a valid signal. And so we will again continue on. All right. Now we have this one right here. And this one is the first valid signal that we have. The green ATR appeared and the blue line is ever so slightly above the orange line. Now, let's measure it off here to see if we got the 90 pips, and we did. So that is our first signal, and that first signal was a winning signal. So far so good. Looks like price action is really kind of stalled out right there. We got this invalid red ATR, but then we picked up a green ATR that was valid with a lot of upwards movement and would have definitely given us a win on that one. Moving along here, you can see price action has hit this zone up here, kind of stalling out in this area here. A lot of resistance to that area. Let's see what price action does here. Just really respecting that area. Wonder if we have any other. Looks like it's hit that area a few times, including right in this little zone right here. So anytime I see something like this, I always get interested in seeing you know, how many other points back here it has you know, ran into that area, had a reaction. Of course, the farther back you go, the least you know, the less the area starts to kind of matter, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's move on here. Watching it bounce along this area here. Didn't get another signal. Finally broke out of that that bull flag area right there. Making its way up, up, up a little bit. Then came back to retrace its steps. Had a big red candle there with an ATR, but it is invalid. Was not a valid call. Same one with this one. Green ATR. Unfortunately, it did make a good move back up, but that is an invalid signal right there, so we would not have taken that one either. Let's see, red ATR, invalid. Not a good one. Price action has come up here, starting to stall out a little bit, forming somewhat of a head and shoulders type pattern happening right here. Bouncing along, coming down, slightly breaking the neckline right there of the head and shoulders, and moving along, decided to take back off in the opposite direction. We didn't quite have a cross on that one yet, unfortunately, so again we missed out on what would have been a winning trade. And this is another thing we have to consider when we are taking into account stacking indicators on top of each other. So we need a good baseline to get us in and out of the trade. Then we need other filters that will confirm and line up to you know, let us know, very similar to what we're doing here, where we have one signal. The baseline would be the ATR, right? When the ATR flag appears, the confirmation would be what position these lines are in here, and that in combination with each other creates a layer of indicators that are working together to give us an overall indicator to take a trade either long or short. And so what we have to keep in mind is that when we are layering other indicators on top of these, we need indicators that are keeping us out of losses, but not necessarily costing us wins. If the indicator is keeping us out of losses, but also costing a bunch of wins at the same time, then it kind of cancels itself out and doesn't really matter anymore. What we need is, I mean, you figure if we have if we have an indicator that does 15 trades in a year, and it is already meeting, say, a 75% win rate. If you were to alleviate 2 or 3 bad trades with just a confirmation indicator, and that's only one step. It's the next step in the process. Step 2 is a confirmation. If you alleviated 1 or 2 bad trades with that confirmation indicator, you've drastically increased the winning percentage of of that baseline indicator right there. And then you add in a momentum or volume filter, and if it can keep you out of 1 or 2 or 3 bad trades as well, then now you've really drastically increased the winning percentage of the overall system. And so, but if every single step you're adding is costing you good trades along with the bad trades, then they're kind of canceling each other out. Especially considering how one good trade could ultimately, in the end, cost you the same amount of pips as 2 or 3 bad trades. And that's because our bad trades are capped. I mean, we have a stop in place. They can only go so far, whereas our winning trades can run for an technically indefinite amount of time. Obviously, that's unrealistic, but our winning trades could run for hundreds of pips, and the stop is only at 135. So let's say that our trade ran for a 600 pip run. That is equal to 2 or 3, considering how it's a half position once you take first, take profit. You're looking at 2 or 3 stops that one good trade is equal to. So that is something that we need to keep in mind when we are dealing with systems like this, for example. I'm trading it the way the user who created it explained that it should be, the confirmations that it should be in place. But you see here, it's already cost me 1, 2, 3 trades that could have been really close. I mean, this one out here, I mean, even this one, we would have still gotten take profit on, let's see, here. Yeah, we would have gotten take profit here. And so it cost us this trade, this trade, this trade, and this trade, which would have all been winning. And this one right here, it filtered out. And so there might have been a few back here as well that it filtered out. And so we just need to be mindful of what trades the indicator is actually filtering. How many good trades versus how many bad trades. Get on with testing here. You see again here, we would have had a really, really solid move right there if we would have taken that trade. And so yeah, it's it's one of those things where we keep missing good trades, but then when it hits a choppy zone, all of a sudden we're thankful that it's filtering out some of those bad trades. Let's see here. this one would have been a long. And unfortunately, we would have... No, not quite. Let's measure this out here. It's close, but not quite. Alright, there it goes. That one definitely stopped us out on there. Alright, now continue forth here. We had another long there. Let's go ahead and mark it. Let's see what this does. Yep, that would have ended up being a losing trade there as well. Alright, moving on here. There we go. We finally got a decent valid trade. That would have been a winner there. And that one would have run for quite a while. So that's a good example. That would have ran... I mean, obviously, we would have an exit indicator up here. So we wouldn't have taken it all the way to the top. But let's say right in this area, 470 pips would have been the run. And that's not even... It's not even an amazing run right there. That's just, you know, a short little leg up. Another valid trade right there. That is close. Let's measure it out one more time. There to there. Not quite. Barely missed it. Let's see. So that would have been along there. And it crumbled down, hitting our stop. Getting kind of close to the end of the year now. So these lines right here, these are divergent lines that are forming. This indicator attempts to read divergence. There we got a signal right there. That one would have been another loss as well. Getting close to the end of the year. Dun dun dun. Let's see. That been in there? Yep, that one would have been in there. Alright, there we are at the end of the year. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 trades, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners. So yeah, doesn't meet the 60% criteria, unfortunately. It's not a horrible indicator. I mean, it's throwing flags at really good locations. If we just had a filter in place to help us out filtering out the range, the choppiness, and maybe a volume or a volatility like filter to it, then I suspect that we could very likely bump up our wins on this. You see here, this area, if we would have been able to filter out this a little bit more, maybe knock out one of these, and then pick up a few of these, I mean, that really hurts when you have such a good solid move like right here, and you were so close to getting into it, and the indicator didn't allow. Same thing right here. We had a solid move up right here, and the indicator missed it just barely. And that is a shame because, I mean, filtering out, one loss and picking up a couple of these decent wins, and it would have met the 60% criteria. And so, using these lines as confirmation, I don't feel is the best way of doing it. Like I said, I wonder if we just got rid of those lines. Let's see. I don't even know if there's the ability to hide them. These? Yep, that's what it was. Those right there. And then throw something else on top of this to filter it out. Something like this, maybe. We would have picked up. Yeah, we wouldn't have quite got that one. We would have definitely got that one. Yeah. And again, I'm not going to go down this road because you start making little tweaks and you really start getting into a domino effect where you just have to retest the entire thing. But yeah, it's a shame because it seemed like it could have done really good, but it's just barely missing the mark. So, all right, that's it for now. It's going to go on the no list for the moment. I might put a notation next to this one to play around with it in my free time. Maybe pull it back out if I can find something decent to work with it. But it's a slippery slope, like I've said many times. So, all right, video's long enough. I'm going to cut it here. Like I said, this one's going on the no list. We'll move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you